Hello everyone. Before we start this video, I would like to draw your attention to the latest fundraiser by Energy of Rebirth, who are collecting funds for a Nissan Navara pickup truck and a Pulsar Talion XQ38 thermal imaging scope for the 120th Brigade, who are currently engaged in operations in Bakhmut. Any donations would be greatly appreciated. So a very short video here looking at two newly documented losses in Kherson and a new captured tank. Let's start with a captured tank, which is a T-62. This is reported as a recent capture somewhere in the east, but the exact location hasn't been mentioned yet, and it's in quite good condition, or as good a condition as a Russian T-62 can be. I expect we'll see this given a once-over by the mechanics and then put back into service pretty soon. So Russia continues to be the biggest contributor to Ukraine's armed forces. This one isn't on Oryx yet, but there are 65 T-62s lost so far, of which 45 were captured, many of which were in Kherson. But we're now seeing T-62s crop up in the east too. 800 or so were removed from storage last year, to much mockery, and also claims that they were only going to be given to the separatists or used in the rear. Yet they found their way to the front lines. Next up, a thoroughly used and abused 2S1 artillery piece. This has clearly been given a good old rogering. This is in Kherson and is an old loss, but one that hasn't been documented by Oryx yet, so a bit more evidence if more were needed, but Oryx's figures are on the lower end, and that there are many more undocumented losses by us at home. This one is now up on Oryx. It is the 52nd 2S1 listed, a pretty high number. 230 were in service, so a significant chunk of the active fleet of these are gone. 1,700 allegedly in reserve, but of course we don't know how many of those reserve units are actually fit for purpose. Since this 2S1 is barely recognisable, here's one in happier times. It's a 122mm self-propelled howitzer, named the Gvozdika, which I always thought meant Godzilla, but actually means the far less intimidating Carnation. Another wreck here, in even worse shape than the 2S1. This is a 2S3 Akatsiya, or rather, this was a 2S3 Akatsiya. Now it's just another monument to Russia's continued failure. One of 70 other Akatsiyas serving the same purpose, as well as 3 damaged, 2 abandoned, and 31 captured. A total of 106. Again, this is an old loss, as it is in Kherson, but is again newly documented. Russia had 800 of these in service with 800 in reserve. Now remember, Oryx's numbers are clearly on the low side, so there will be more of these lost. Here's a photo of one in better condition. It's a 152mm self-propelled howitzer. Quite an important target. So that's it for this video, a short compilation of newish losses, depending on when this video goes out, as it is prepared in advance and it's not hugely important, so it's one which I will likely end up pushing back at some point. I hope you found it interesting though. If so, please click like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and take care everybody.